During the Occupy starting area phase with a freely selectable option, each player can choose any free area on the map except C areas, which are identified by a white anchor symbol. The blue player 1 decides to occupy Western Europe. The player places one infantry unit from his reserves in this area. Each area shows production points. In this case, Western Europe shows 4 points. To mark these points, the blue player places one of his blue wooden markers on number 4 of the production point scale. The green player 2 chooses China as his starting area. He places one of his infantry units from his reserves in this area and marks 7 production points on the production point scale. Finally, the red player 3 also chooses a free area as his starting area. The red player decides to occupy North Africa and places a red wooden marker on number 6 of the production point scale. Now it's player 1's turn again. This player places another infantry unit from his reserves, but this time the blue player places the unit in a free area adjacent to one of his occupied areas. In this case, Central Europe or British Isles, linked by a dotted line, would be possible. The player decides to occupy Central Europe and receives 4 additional production points. He forwards his wooden marker accordingly. From now on, all other players occupy only areas adjacent to their already occupied areas. The occupation will continue until all areas on the map are occupied. Don't forget to constantly update the production points. If there are no more free areas directly adjacent to a player's own areas, the player must choose any other of the free areas on the map. And from there, he may continue to occupy the areas in the usual manner. In this case, the red player 3 decides to occupy Cuba. In his next turn, the red player can place his next unit only on a free adjacent area. That would be southeastern states, Central America, or Venezuela. Nothing changes for the other players. If a player occupies an entire continent like Europe, by the blue player in our example, this player receives the respective continent bonus. For this, he moves his production points marker accordingly. The blue player thus receives 5 additional production points. If there are no free areas left on the map, the occupation of the starting areas is complete. Attention! Before the first round of play begins, the app will indicate victory conditions. Do not forget to place the white wooden marker for the military victory condition on the production point scale. In our example, the white wooden marker would need to be placed on 110 production points.